Hello YouTube, welcome. So I've got for you today an urban carry holster. Little flap here. This is my urban carry. I ordered this. I have the Lieutenant. I carry a single stack 45 ACP Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. It's what I choose to carry in this gun. I can also carry my Ruger LC9S, which is another single stack gun I like to carry. The reason I like this is because I wear a tucked in shirt a lot. And a lot of times I can't wear a cover shirt. I can't open carry. There's places where I go that I can't open carry, but I can get away with concealed carrying. Where some folks would really have alarm if I walked in with a gun on my hip. And honestly, I paid good money for a concealed carry permit, so why not use it? So here we go. You grab this flap. First thing you notice is you got this big hook, okay? And I will talk about that in a minute, but you got a magnet that holds that flap in place. You grab that flap and you pull it up. And here's your gun, okay? It's that simple, okay? I'm going to adjust the camera so we can see a little better. Adjust it up, okay? Come on. All right, so here we go. I want you to notice, there's no printing. It disappears in a pair of pants. It just absolutely disappears. And I wear this when I'm going to be standing. I don't like it when I'm sitting. It's comfortable to sit. I can sit in it. I can pull my chair over here and sit down, and it's perfectly comfortable to sit. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't poke me. It's fine. It bends right at my natural waist. It's pretty well designed for this gun, but it's very difficult for me to draw from a seated position. So if I'm going to be seated most of the time, I don't carry this. But if I'm going to be standing, like say one day we went ice skating, and I was there video recording everybody ice skating and kind of corralling people from one place to another. I wasn't actually on the ice, and so I was there, and I was going to be standing all day. And there's a long walk to where we were ice skating and a long walk back. I've worn it when we were hiking, and I wanted to conceal carry. And I didn't want to wear an extra layer to cover up an open carry pistol on my belt or in the waistband. And so it's a great way to conceal when you're standing. You pull, and out it comes. And it is a draw stroke you have to practice. It's not something that's natural. And this is the Urban Carry 2, and they kind of brag about how it's broke in when you get it. And they're right. It's really, really good, flexible leather. I'll go ahead and take this out and show it to you. It's very flexible when you get it. I've had it for about 3 or 4 months now. And I like it. It's got the magnet in the bottom that is for holding the pistol. And I'll just flip it over and let you see. It does a good job. If you really shake it, it'll fall out. But it does a good job of holding it in place. It's not really meant to hold it upside down. What it's really meant for, let me get it back into the correct position here. What it's really meant for is that this gun, when you pull it up, the purpose of the magnet is that when you pull it up, they don't want the gun to propel out. Okay, they don't want the gun to propel out. And that magnet does a great job of holding it in there. So when I push it down in there properly, and I pull this up, no amount of force, well, I said no amount of force. If you pull it hard enough, I guess it will. But in general, it works pretty well. It's a great way to carry a gun. It does take some practice to get your gun on target. If you're used to carrying in the waistband, this is really not that uncomfortable. I think if you've never carried a gun in the waistband and you go buy this and it's sitting against your thigh and it's kind of some extra stuff in your belt here, you're going to complain and whine that it's uncomfortable. Okay? You're going to complain and whine that it's uncomfortable. But truth be told, for me anyway, I don't find that to be the case. I find it to be very comfortable, but I carry in the waistband a lot. I've carried with Alien Gears and Nate Square Tacticals. I've carried it at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and I've carried Appendix. And so when you've carried a gun in your waistband before, this is actually more comfortable than a gun in your waistband because it's lower. And if your pants are baggy in the thigh area, especially like I wear cargo pants a lot, it's great. Now, if you have really snug jeans that are snug through this area here, this would be printing and it would be a little more uncomfortable. But for this case, you pull it up and you put your gun on target. I will say from an in-the-waistband holster that's under a cover garment at, say, 4 o'clock or 4:30 versus this. There's about a half a second more draw time to this. And you do really, truthfully have to have both hands free. But it does work, and it does a good job. The other thing I want to mention about it, other than the comfort level and the amount of break-in and all that, is the magnet. So they brag about the strength of this magnet, and or clip, excuse me, the strength of this clip, and they're not joking. If you ask me to list all the disadvantages to this holster, one of them's the clip. The clip is so darn strong, some nights I have trouble getting it off. I really do believe if you had a really flimsy pair of pants and you clipped this to the pant material and not your belt, it might actually tear the waistband of your pants. It's so strong. They're not joking. That clip, I have to say, as much as I've drawn it, as much as I've played with it, as much as I've done with this holster, this clip is not coming off your belt. If you wear a belt and you clip this to your belt, it is firm. It's not coming off. That's my opinion. Other people can chime in. I will say this. This is not a universal holster. You really need to make sure that you buy a holster that's a good fit to your gun. So this is the Lieutenant, and it is made to fit this gun. And you see the fit. It covers the trigger guard quite well. Okay, covers the trigger guard quite well. And when this is on your belt and closed, the entire gun is covered. The entire gun's covered. And so you don't have to worry about, a corner poking. And like I said, I mean, the magnet is pretty strong. You can jostle this out if you really try. If you jerk really, really hard, as I showed you a minute ago, it can come loose. But, great fit for this gun. It fits a few other guns that we own. So it is kind of a universal. Like this will fit a single stack 9mm. It'll fit a couple of our snub-nosed revolvers pretty well. So it can be used for more than one gun. And sometimes that's a disadvantage because when you make a holster that fits lots of guns, it doesn't fit any of them well. It does fit the Smith & Wesson Shield very well. It covers the trigger guard very well. And it seems to be pretty well constructed. It seems pretty sturdy. I've probably sat and drawn this gun and put it on target between the range and dry fire at the house. I've probably got 10 hours of draw, present, reholster. Draw, present, reholster. And you can start to see that the leather's starting to show a little wear here, and there's definitely some wear where the pistol has rubbed it on the inside. But it's holding up pretty well, and maybe I'll come back in 5 years and revisit this. But I love the Urban Carry for certain situations. I will not wear this. If I'm going to go sit in a meeting and I'm going to be seated all day, I will not wear this. Because I've tried to draw from a seated position, and they say you can do it, and they're better men than I am, because this to draw from a seated position is nearly impossible for me. But I've got a little overhang that kind of snags the pistol when I'm seated. When I'm standing, it works, but when I'm seated, this covers my belt enough that I really have trouble getting the Urban Carry to come out. So I don't use it in a seated position, but I do use it when I'm going to be standing and I'm going to have my shirt tucked in. So it's a great way to carry if you want to carry a bigger gun. Just to show you another option I have, of course, is I pocket carry in these cargos here. So I've got a 380 in the pockets there. Well, you're upgrading from a 7-shot 380 to a 7-shot 45 ACP with the same wardrobe, and I'll take that every day. But it is impossible for me to draw from a seated position. Your mileage may vary, but I would recommend it. I think it's worth what you pay. I think they made a lot of upgrades between the first and the second Urban Carry. They still sell the first Urban Carry, which uses belt loops made out of leather instead of this clip. And so if you're one of those people that doesn't trust clips, the Urban Carry won. But the leather's thicker, and so it's not as flexible when you get it, and so it's much, much harder to use when you first buy it. And they recommend that you sit and draw it, couple hundred times after you condition the leather, and I think most people just aren't willing to do that. They want to buy it and put their gun in it and go. I can't tell you how many hours I spent drawing my gun before I carried in this, because it is an awkward draw stroke. It's not like any other draw stroke if you carry in the waistband or even in your pocket. It is a very unique, kind of odd draw stroke, and you know, for me, it's always grab. And as I pull this up, I go ahead and put my right hand in position, and I get that thumb behind the gun and then come out and present. It is definitely an awkward draw stroke, but it is a great way to carry when you have to wear a tucked-in shirt and a pair of, you know, slacks or jeans or something, and you really can't wear a cover garment. So anyway, if you have questions about the Urban Carry or the M&P Shield that I carry in it or anything else, shoot me a message and I'll be glad to talk to you.